comes every first and third Thursday of the month.
Wednesday.
Well, currently.
Hey.
Actually, this is the last one for the year right now, but we'll be back again next fall, so make sure to put that in your schedules here and there. For those of you who don't know me, I kind of see everyone to know, but I'm Nathan Kiang. I am a freshman here. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I do a Young Life. Let's see. I'm one of the eldest of five. I am the eldest of five, and my dad is a priest, so I am considered a pastor kid. I've been doing Young Life since my sophomore year in high school. We did this thing called Club Beyond, which was basically Young Life for military dependents or military brats, as we would call us. I like to dance. I like to work out. I like to talk to people. I like to exercise, and I like to have fun. So that's why I come to Young Life. What's Young Life without doing some weird stuff like, I don't know, maybe singing Happy Birthday Giovanni every time he walks into a room. I mean, I think it's your birthday soon, isn't it?
Woo!
It's his birthday soon.
Then hers.
No.
Oh no, hers is the day after
that's
mine.
right.
Sorry, that's too late.
But no, in all seriousness, what's Young Life without usually a story? We talk. We like to talk about Jesus and the Bible. So for me, I was looking over some of the stories that I wanted to talk about, and I came across the story of Zacchaeus. So for those of you who don't know, Zacchaeus is a rich man who was considered a tax collector. The only problem was he was really, really short, kind of like Frodo. So basically, he was a hobbit. Now Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was walking or making his way through Jericho, which is an ancient city filled with narrow walls and narrow walls and high. They were higher than I can do, but they were pretty high. And Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was coming, and he was really excited. But there was a crowd that was in his way, so he really couldn't see him. The only way he could do that is if he decided to climb up. So he climbed up a sycamore tree. And as Jesus was walking by, he looked at Zacchaeus, and he said, "Hey, come here. Come down from the tree." Now, he said something along that line, but in reality he said, "Hey, Zacchaeus, come down from this tree. I want to have dinner with you tonight." And Zacchaeus was really, really excited, so he got down as soon as he could. When he got down, though, there was a crowd that was mumbling and grumbling, saying, "This man, Zacchaeus, he's a sinner. Why would someone like Jesus want to spend time with him?" And Zacchaeus kind of took that personal and kind of offensive to him. And he looked to Jesus and said, I'm doing my best here. If I did someone wrong, I'd pay their half the stuff that they had, or basically their money back. And if he ever cheated or did something wrong, he would pay 4 times the amount. As a result, Jesus was so happy to hear that. He was pretty glad. He was rejoicing and saying that this man Zacchaeus was willing to do something like that, and that the Son of Man, which is Jesus, is come to seek the lost and come to seek and save those who are lost. So, what does this mean? Well, first of all, Zacchaeus is a tax collector. In the streets of Jericho, it's not really popular to be a tax collector. 1, because they're rich. 2, they take money away from people, especially the poor. So the poor do not like tax collectors. Second of all, he was pretty short, so he couldn't do and see Jesus. So he had to climb sycamore trees, which tend to be about, they can grow up to 100 feet tall. Now, I don't think he climbed 100 feet tall because that's kind of high, but I'm sure he climbed up a good amount. That was pretty high. And when Jesus saw him, he wanted to have dinner with him. And Zacchaeus was ecstatic. He was so excited to do it. It was like a celebrity wanted to come and have dinner with him. And that made him super, super happy. And, you know, when he came down, he was scared because of the people that were telling him. They were grumbling, saying that this man is a sinner. He felt kind of ashamed, and he was scared. So telling Jesus, you know, he was willing to do something good, though he has a bad reputation. He wanted to show Jesus that he was good enough. According to Jesus, he was, and he was really happy to see someone and to seek him, and also to save those who are lost. Now, have you guys ever felt lost before? You know, you say, what the heck am I doing? You don't know where you are, don't know where you're going. I have a lot. I mean, in fact, last semester I got lost in the woods. I literally had a map and a compass, and I didn't know where I was going. So, you know, it was fun and all, but I got lost. Other times, I still get lost sometimes, not in a figurative sense, or not in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense. There are times, you know, growing up as a Christian, I mean, though I've been to church all the time, my dad's a priest and everything, there are times I tend to feel lost and distant away from God. For instance, for those of you who don't know, I'm in ROTC, which is, you know, something that trains students to become officers in the military. And for me, I'm like Zacchaeus. I'm a small guy. I'm actually one of the shortest guys. And I'm not saying that because I'm a freshman. I'm literally one of the shortest guys in the program. So I guess I would say I seem different from when you picture, I guess, military guys, you see them taller, buff, and like, and I don't see myself as that sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough to be in the program. Sometimes I see myself as just small and weak. Kind of reminds me of myself when I was a little kid a few years ago. There's supposed to be a picture over there, but it's okay. Yeah, that's me. That kid, for me, was a little geeky, a little nerdy. A little kid who wasn't really good at sports. Kid that liked to be picked on a lot. Or I didn't like to be picked on, but kids like to pick on me. But I didn't like him. I didn't like the kid. I hated being that kind of person. So I wanted to feel like I was good enough to be loved. To actually, like, I guess, catch people's attentions, which is actually one of the reasons why I originally started dancing. I wanted to do something cool, and I wanted to get people's attention. High school, that was actually pretty easy for me. I was completely, changed, not looking like that anymore. But in high school, I was a kid that was well respected by my peers and my students. I was a kid that was one of the smartest kids in my class. And then that all changed when I came here to college. There are times I just don't feel smart enough in college. I hear people get in better scores than what I've got, and I look at my grades and I see not the best, and sometimes I just don't feel good enough for it. Also occurred to when it came to, I guess, liking people in high school. When it came to girls in high school, I would always be scared to talk to them and tell them that, I liked them, but I would always have voices in my head telling me, you're not good enough for it. They're not gonna like you. You're a freak. As a result, I never went up to I would never look a girl in high school and tell them face to face that I liked them. It was always a text or a little letter, or even just not talk to them at all because I was scared of getting rejected by them. And you know, it didn't do well for me. I mean, either way, I still got rejected. But I mean, that's not the point. I just felt like I wasn't good enough for people. As you can see, I've been talking about a similar pattern about just not being good enough. I relate to Zacchaeus because, you know, times like him, like when the crowd was talking to him, saying that this man is a sinner, they're basically telling him he's not good enough. And that related to me by hearing all these things saying, I'm not good enough. Zacchaeus felt ashamed from taking people's money away, and he didn't like it. So, have any of you ever felt ashamed of something? Things that you've done and you haven't done? Show of hands. It sucks sometimes. I mean, it sucks knowing that, you know, sometimes you did something wrong, or you're telling yourself you're not good enough. The truth is, that's all a lie. Because every single one of you are good enough. I am good enough. And Zacchaeus is good enough. The truth is, we're all sinners. Though we deal with a bunch of crap that makes us feel like we're not good enough. That's not true. We are still good enough for Jesus. When Jesus came by, when Jesus came by, he looked out at Zacchaeus and said, "Come down from the street. I want to have dinner with you tonight." He took the time to stop and actually want to get to know him and actually talk to him and have dinner with him. This man loved us, and it's wanting to come down and actually ask Zacchaeus to come down is a way of showing love that at least Jesus did. He also said at the end of the story that the Son of Man has come to seek and save those who are lost. This relates to John 3:16, which is I guess some people would consider a basic Bible verse, but it's pretty true. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son to die on the cross for us, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. To be honest, I don't know where you guys stand, whether you're a Christian or not, or you're not sure. I just want you all to know that Jesus loves you. And he wants to spend time with every single one of you, me, all of us. In order for that to happen, he's calling you guys, me, us, all together to come down from the tree. Come down to the tree with excitement and spend time with Jesus. You all are good enough. I'm good enough. Zacchaeus is good enough. You're good enough. We are all good enough.